Have you ever paused and pondered why certain individuals just have that magnetic pull? Why some people are so effortlessly persuasive and likable? This isn't just a fleeting thought for many of us. In fact, this intrigue has shaped the foundation of one of the most globally recognized and transformative books of our time, Dale Carnegie's masterpiece, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie didn't just give us a guide. He provided a structured approach to mastering the art of human relations. His book elegantly flows through 4 distinct parts, each packed with invaluable lessons. Guess what? By the end of this video, you won't even need to read this book because we're going to tell you all the magic inside. Ready to dive in? Part 1. Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Dale Carnegie, in his groundbreaking work, emphasized that these actions rarely, if ever, yield the results we hope for. Instead, they often build walls of resentment, making true understanding and progress even harder to attain. Imagine you're learning to ride a bicycle. Each time you fall, someone points out your mistakes, criticizes your technique, or complains about your slow progress. How would you feel? Discouraged, perhaps even inclined to give up, right? Now contrast this with a situation where the same observer offers encouragement, guidance, or simply remains patient. The difference is stark and palpable. In the first scenario, you're weighed down by negativity, making the learning process arduous. In the latter, you're uplifted, inspired to try again with enthusiasm. Criticism and its kin are not just about the words spoken or the intent behind them. They're about the repercussions they create. When we criticize, we invoke defense mechanisms. The person on the receiving end often feels attacked, and as a natural response, their walls go up. They become less receptive to feedback and more focused on defending their actions or feelings. This leads to a cycle of negativity, where communication breaks down, trust erodes, and the possibility of a positive outcome dwindles. But it's crucial to remember that avoiding criticism doesn't mean turning a blind eye to mistakes or not addressing issues. It's about approach. Constructive feedback, given with empathy and a genuine desire to help, can be beneficial. However, the key lies in ensuring that the feedback is framed positively, focusing on improvement and growth rather than merely pointing out flaws. Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. When someone tells us we did a good job or that our new haircut looks awesome, it's like getting a mini prize for just being us. But here's the catch. It has to be real. Imagine if someone said they liked your shoes, but then giggled behind your back. It wouldn't feel nice, right? That's because fake compliments are like getting a wrapped box with nothing inside. Looks good on the outside, but feels empty. Genuine compliments, the real deal, are like a boost of happy energy. They make our day better, and they can make us want to do even better. Now about being sincere. When we are sincere with our compliments, it means we really mean it. It's not just words, it's truth. And truth feels good. It makes trust grow between friends, family, and even strangers. So when Dale Carnegie tells us to give honest and sincere appreciation, he's actually giving us a recipe. A recipe to make strong, trusting, and happy bonds with the people around us. It's easy, it's simple, and everyone has the ingredients. All you need to do is be real and say it like you mean it. Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. Picture this. You're trying to get your friend to join you for a movie. Instead of saying, "I want to watch this," what if you said, "You know that actor you love? He's starring in this. It'll be a blast together." See the difference? The first is about what you want, and the second is about what your friend might want. Dale Carnegie believed that if you want to connect with people, it helps to think about things from their point of view. It's a bit like when you give a gift. Instead of giving what you like, you think about what the other person would love. When we do this in our talks and actions, it's like giving a gift of understanding. People feel seen and valued. And guess what? They're more likely to hop on board with whatever you're suggesting. By understanding what someone else wants, what makes them excited or curious, you're not just communicating. You're reaching out. You're saying, "Hey, I get you. Let's find common ground." In essence, this principle is a beautiful reminder of the power of empathy and connection. It's not about manipulating or tricking. It's about understanding and aligning. It's about realizing that, at the end of the day, We all have dreams and desires, and if we can help each other achieve them, the journey becomes all the more joyful. Part 2. 6 ways to make people like you. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Remember the joy when someone remembers your birthday without a Facebook reminder? Or when someone asks how your day was and really listens? That's the magic of genuine interest. Dale Carnegie tapped into a simple yet profound truth. Every one of us, no matter our age or background, wants to be seen, to be heard, to matter. Deep down, there's a little voice inside each of us that yearns for attention, not in a flashy, look-at-me way, but in a heartfelt, I matter to someone way. It's a basic human desire, as real as hunger or thirst. Just as plants lean towards the sunlight, we lean towards those who shine a light of interest our way. So how can we show we're genuinely interested in someone? It starts with truly listening. Not the kind of listening where you're planning your next words, but the kind where the world fades a bit, and it's just their words and your ears. It's in the little things. Remembering names, noticing a new haircut, or asking about that book they mentioned last time. But here's the key. It needs to be genuine. People can tell when you're just pretending. Authentic interest is like giving a gift straight from the heart. It doesn't need wrapping or a bow, because the gift is the time and attention you're offering. Principle 2. Smile. Imagine walking on a gloomy day and suddenly, out of the blue, a rainbow appears. That instant burst of color, light, and joy is what a smile brings to the world. Dale Carnegie, in his wisdom, recognized the pure, simple power of a smile and how it can transform our day and the day of others around us. Starting with ourselves, every time we smile, there's a little party happening inside our bodies. Our brain releases these happy little chemicals called endorphins. Think of them as nature's own candy, sweet, delightful, and they make everything seem brighter. These endorphins are like our body's natural stress busters. They help us feel more relaxed, lower our blood pressure, and even ease pain. It's like our body's way of saying, hey, things are pretty good right now. But the magic doesn't stop with us. Smiles are, let's say, kind of contagious. Ever notice how hard it is to keep a straight face when someone is grinning at you? That's because deep down, smiles speak a universal language. They say, you're welcome here. You're liked. You're appreciated. When someone gifts us a genuine smile, without even realizing it, we often gift one back. It's like passing a happy note in a never-ending game of catch. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Picture yourself in a bustling room, the noise of conversations filling the air, and suddenly, amidst the cacophony, you hear someone call out your name. Instantly, your ears perk up, right? That's the magnetic allure of one's own name. Dale Carnegie recognized this universal truth. Our names are not just labels. They're a core part of our identity, our story, our essence. Our names carry the weight of our histories, our memories, and our aspirations. They've been whispered lovingly by parents, shouted by friends in a playground, and carefully penned on milestone certificates. When someone remembers and uses our name, it's as if they're saying, I see you, I acknowledge you, you matter to me. It's an unspoken hug, a signal of respect and appreciation. But let's be real. Names can sometimes slip through the cracks of our memory. We've all had those awkward moments of forgetting someone's name. So how do we ensure we remember? Here are some handy tips. 1. Listen actively. When you're introduced, focus on the name. Push aside distractions and really hone in. 2. Repeat it. Use their name in the conversation soon after you hear it. Nice to meet you, Emily. 3. Associate. Connect their name to a feature or something memorable. For example, Brian with the bright blue eyes. By making an effort to remember names, you're investing in relationships. It's a subtle yet powerful gesture that says, you are important. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Every one of us is brimming with tales, dreams, fears, and hopes. When someone listens to us, truly listens, it's like they're making space for our stories, offering us a stage to be the star. This silent act of attention says, your narrative matters. In a world filled with noise, Being heard is a rare and cherished feeling. Now, there's a big difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is passive, like a radio playing in the background. But listening? That's an active dance of the mind and heart. It's not just about catching words. It's about tuning into the emotions, the pauses, the unspoken lines. When we prioritize listening over speaking, we not only learn more about others, but we also nurture a deeper bond, built on respect and understanding. So how can you be a master listener? Here are some active listening techniques to help. 1. Eye contact. Look at the speaker. This simple act reassures them that you're present and invested. 2. Nod and react. A nod, a smile, or a concerned frown can convey that you're tuned in. 3. Avoid interruptions. Let them complete their thoughts before you jump in. 4. Reflect and clarify. Every once in a while, mirror back what you've heard or ask clarifying questions. So what you're saying is? 5. Empathize. Step into their shoes. That must have been tough for you. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. At its core, this principle is about recognition and respect. It's about acknowledging that everyone carries a universe of passions, ideas, and dreams within them. By steering the conversation towards their interests, you're essentially sending a heartfelt message. I value what you value. Tell me more about what lights your fire. But why does this work so beautifully? Simple. People glow differently when they talk about things they love. Their eyes light up, their energy shifts, and they become animated storytellers. Engaging with them on these topics is like getting VIP access to their most vibrant self. Here are a few examples. The travel enthusiast. I heard you recently traveled to Greece. How was the experience? Any memorable moments in Athens? The avid reader. I've been hunting for a new book. What's the last one you read and loved? The gardening pro. Your garden always looks impeccable. How do you manage to keep those roses so vibrant? The beauty lies in the details. It's not just about picking any topic, but choosing subjects that resonate with the other person's heartstrings. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Have you ever received a genuine compliment or acknowledgement that made your day, maybe even your week? There's a heartwarming sensation, a lightness in the chest, that comes when someone sees us, truly sees us, and recognizes our value. At the heart of this principle is a basic human craving, the desire for validation. From the playground to the boardroom, every one of us wants to be seen, acknowledged, and valued. We wear countless hats: parent, partner, professional, friend. And in each role, there's a silent wish to be recognized for our efforts, our passions, and our worth. But here's the catch. It has to be genuine. Because just as the heart leaps with joy at sincere praise, it can also detect hollow words from a mile away. When appreciation is not genuine, it feels like a counterfeit note. It might look the part, but it lacks real value. So how can we make others feel truly valued? 1. Listen deeply. Before you can make someone feel important, you need to understand them. This means diving deep into their stories, their dreams, their fears. 2. Compliment. Thoughtfully. Instead of general platitudes, be specific. The way you handled that meeting was masterful rather than just, good job. 3. Acknowledge often. Sometimes it's the small, everyday achievements that need the most recognition. 4. Show gratitude. A heartfelt thank you can go a long way. It's a simple affirmation that their efforts haven't gone unnoticed. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. Principle 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Dale Carnegie recognized a fundamental truth. While debates might ignite our passions, they seldom bring us closer to understanding or agreement. The thing about arguments is that they're not just about logic or facts. They're entangled with emotions, pride, and identity. When we argue, it's not just our point we're defending, but often our ego. And herein lies the futility of most confrontations. They don't lead to change or understanding, but deepen divides. Instead of opening doors, they often slam them shut. But how do we steer clear of these stormy waters, especially when we feel strongly about something? Here are some strategies. Stay calm. Emotions can cloud judgment. Deep breaths and composed demeanor can help keep the conversation constructive. Seek understanding. Instead of aiming to win, try to understand the other person's viewpoint. This shift in perspective can transform the nature of the discussion. Find common ground. Highlight shared values or concerns as a starting point for conversation. Agree to disagree. Sometimes it's okay to acknowledge differences without trying to change the other person's mind. Dale Carnegie's principle serves as a wise reminder that our goal in interactions isn't to emerge victorious, but to connect, understand, and foster mutual respect. After all, while arguments come and go, the bridges we build or burn in the process have a lasting impact. Principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. There's an innate human desire to be right, to be acknowledged. Yet how often have you changed your mind because someone bluntly told you, you're wrong? Probably rarely, if ever. Dale Carnegie understood this intricate dance of human psychology and emphasized the importance of respecting others' opinions, even in disagreement. When someone hears you're wrong, it's not just a disagreement with their statement. It feels like an assault on their intelligence and identity. This instantly triggers defensiveness. Instead of being open to a different perspective, the brain goes into a fight-or-flight mode. Walls go up, and any chance of a fruitful discussion crumbles. It's not about the facts anymore, it's about protecting one's self-worth. So if flat-out disagreement is a dead end, how can we navigate differing opinions gracefully? Here are some diplomatic strategies. Seek clarification. Instead of dismissing their viewpoint, ask questions. Can you help me understand why you feel that way? Use I statements. Share your perspective without making it an absolute truth. I see where you're coming from, but I've always thought. Acknowledge valid points. Even if you disagree overall, find elements of their argument that you can genuinely affirm. Provide evidence, not accusations. Share facts and experiences to support your perspective without making it feel like an attack. Agree to revisit. If the conversation becomes heated, suggest taking a break and revisiting the topic later with fresh minds. Principle 3. If you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Owning up to our blunders is a daunting act, isn't it? After all, nobody relishes the sting of being wrong. Yet there's a liberating power in acceptance. When we embrace our missteps, we strip them of their control over us. No longer do we waste energy in futile defenses or mental gymnastics. Instead, we open the door to learning, growth, and genuine connection. So what makes taking responsibility so transformative? Here are some compelling benefits. Trust building. By admitting errors, we cultivate a reputation for integrity. Over time, this fosters trust among peers, friends, and family. Personal growth. Every mistake carries a lesson. Recognizing and learning from our errors paves the way for personal and professional development. Reduction of stress. Denial and deception are mentally exhausting. Being candid about our faults can lead to reduced anxiety and clearer conscience. Improved relationships. Genuine apologies can mend bridges and deepen connections, proving that relationships can often grow stronger in the aftermath of mistakes. Remember, perfection isn't attainable, but progress is. By swiftly and wholeheartedly admitting our mistakes, we invite not only the respect of others, but also a deeper respect for ourselves. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. Think about the last time you entered a room full of people. Who caught your eye? Was it the person with the scowl and crossed arms, or was it the individual wearing an inviting smile and radiating warmth? Now apply that same intuition to conversations and debates. Dale Carnegie's invaluable advice is simple yet groundbreaking. Kick things off on a friendly note. So why does starting friendly work so well? It all comes down to basic human psychology. When greeted with kindness, people are naturally inclined to let down their defenses. The walls that guard opinions and beliefs come tumbling down, replaced by bridges of understanding and empathy. This principle is a timeless reminder that how you say something can be just as crucial as what you're saying. The way we initiate a conversation has the potential to set the entire trajectory, so why not start on a high note? Principle 5. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. This principle, highlighted by Dale Carnegie, is not about manipulation, but about establishing a rhythm of agreement that can lead to more fruitful discussions. When a person finds themselves agreeing with you from the get-go, a couple of things happen. First, their defenses lower. They're no longer on guard, ready to counter-argue, but are instead aligned with your perspective. Secondly, this pattern of agreement establishes a level of trust and camaraderie, suggesting that you're on the same team with a shared goal. So, how can you practically harness this principle? Start with mutual agreements. Begin the conversation by highlighting facts, beliefs, or opinions you both share. It forms a solid foundation. Affirmative nudging. Use verbal cues that seek agreement like, "Don't you think?" or "Isn't it true that?" to prompt positive responses. Maintain a positive tone. Your enthusiasm and positivity can be contagious. By maintaining an upbeat attitude, you encourage your partner to mirror that energy. Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Now, it might seem counterintuitive, especially if you're brimming with ideas or opinions, but herein lies the magic. When you give space for others to voice their thoughts, you're doing more than just passively absorbing words. You're actively showing respect, investing in their feelings, and most importantly, learning about them, what drives them, what concerns them, what inspires them. Why is this strategic? For starters, understanding is the key to influence. When you truly grasp where someone is coming from, you're better equipped to find common ground or tailor your points in a manner that resonates with them. Moreover, as they articulate their thoughts, they might discover inconsistencies or even gain new insights, leading them closer to your perspective, sometimes without you making a case at all. So, how can you apply this principle in real life? Active listening. It's not just about hearing, but genuinely processing what's being said. It's an invitation to walk in their shoes. Ask open-ended questions. Encourage them to delve deeper by asking questions that can't be answered with just a yes or no. Avoid interrupting. Let them complete their train of thought. It shows respect and can lead to richer, more nuanced discussions. Principle 7. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs. Ever watched a child's eyes light up when they build something, even if it's just a tiny sandcastle or a misshapen clay pot? There's a gleam of pride, a sense of accomplishment, and sheer joy in their expression. This instinct doesn't fade as we grow up. It simply transforms. In the adult world of ideas and discussions, that same pride emerges when we feel a sense of ownership over an idea or solution. So how can this principle be leveraged in conversations? By letting others feel the idea is theirs. You're not just seeking agreement or acceptance. You're forging a partnership. After all, in the grand tapestry of human interactions, it's the threads of collaboration and shared ownership that create the most enduring patterns. Here are some tips you can use to apply this principle. Ask probing questions. Instead of presenting your idea outright, pose questions that lead them towards it. This way, they arrive at the solution themselves. Use inclusive language. Phrases like, "You made me think," or "building on what you said," can make them feel integral to the ideation process. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Empathy, in many ways, is like a bridge between these crossroads. It's not merely about seeing the other path, but walking a mile on it. Feeling the gravel, sensing the turns, and experiencing the winds of another's journey allows for a profound understanding, something mere observation can never achieve. And when you genuinely strive to grasp another's perspective, several magical things happen. Firstly, it dissolves barriers. When someone feels genuinely understood, defenses drop, making way for more open, constructive dialogues. Secondly, it enriches our own understanding. Seeing through another's lens often reveals aspects of a situation we might have overlooked, leading to richer, multifaceted solutions. So how can you channel this principle into your interactions? Pause and reflect. Before responding, take a moment to process what's being said. Try to feel the emotions and motivations behind the words. Ask clarifying questions. Instead of assuming, seek clarity. Phrases like, "Help me understand," or "Can you elaborate on," can provide deeper insights. Mirror their feelings. Sometimes simply acknowledging their emotions with statements like, "It sounds like you're feeling," can show that you're genuinely trying to connect. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Dale Carnegie, with his keen insight into the human psyche, recognized the powerful resonance of sympathy, not in a patronizing way, but as a genuine understanding and acknowledgement of another's feelings and desires. By being sympathetic to another's ideas and desires, you're laying down bricks of mutual respect and understanding. In Carnegie's vision, it's not about changing your sails to match every wind, but ensuring that every wind feels acknowledged, understood, and valued. In the vast ocean of human relationships, such ports of sympathy become havens of trust, collaboration, and lasting bonds. So how can you apply this principle in real life? Active acknowledgement. It's more than just hearing. It's saying, "I see your point," or "that must be tough for you." These affirmations, even if they don't denote agreement, convey respect for their viewpoint. Avoid counter-arguments immediately. Even if you have a different perspective, give their thoughts some breathing space before presenting your own. It's like saying, "I value your input." Offer support. Where possible. While you might not align with their entire viewpoint, find elements you can support or appreciate and vocalize that agreement. Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. This principle is rooted in an age-old understanding of humanity. It's the belief that beneath layers of pragmatism and self-interest lies a heart that beats for honor, justice, and nobility. By appealing to these nobler motives, you're not just seeking agreement, but invoking a shared journey towards a higher purpose. It's a call to arms, not for battle, but for building bridges of understanding, collaboration, and a shared vision of a better world. So how can you harmoniously integrate this principle into your dialogues? Identify shared values. Begin by recognizing the mutual ideals or principles both you and your conversational partner hold dear. It could be integrity, the well-being of a community, or even the pursuit of excellence. Elevate the conversation. Instead of focusing on mundane details or immediate gains, discuss the larger impact. Questions like, what legacy do we want to leave? Or how can we make a difference? Can shift the perspective. Recognize their nobility. Acknowledge the times they've demonstrated these higher values in the past. A simple, "I've always admired your commitment to fairness," can set the right tone. Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. We humans are narrative creatures. We thrive on stories, relate to characters, and are moved by their journeys. By weaving a touch of drama into our ideas, we're appealing to this intrinsic human nature. And often, in the grand play of life, it's the heart that calls the shots. So the next time you have an idea to share, remember, don't just tell it, dramatize it. Set the stage, ignite the emotions, and watch your idea take the spotlight, leaving an indelible mark on the audience's mind and soul. How can you masterfully dramatize your ideas? Use vivid imagery. Instead of just stating a fact, paint a picture. For example, don't just say, "We need to conserve water." Say, "Imagine a world where our children walk miles, not for a school, but for a drop of water." Incorporate personal stories. Share genuine experiences or anecdotes that resonate with your idea. A personal touch can make abstract concepts feel real and relatable. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. What makes challenges so captivating? At our core, we humans have an innate desire to push boundaries, to grow, and to make a mark. When confronted with a challenge, it's like awakening a sleeping giant within us. It beckons us to rise, to harness our potential, and to conquer. And when the challenge aligns with our skills, passions, and dreams, it becomes not just a task, but a calling. So how can you effectively harness the power of challenge? Tailor the challenge. Ensure it speaks to the strengths and aspirations of the person or team you're addressing. It should be neither too easy nor impossibly hard, but should require stretch and effort. Frame it as an opportunity. Position the challenge as a chance for growth, learning, and recognition. A simple, "I believe you have what it takes to achieve this," can be incredibly motivating. Celebrate achievements. Recognize and applaud when milestones are reached or when the challenge is overcome. This reinforces positive behavior and sets the stage for future endeavors. Part 4. Be a leader. how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. In the symphony of human interaction, praise and appreciation are the melodious tunes that capture the heart. Everyone, from a small child to a seasoned professional, thrives on validation. This isn't mere vanity, it's deeply rooted in our psychology. The human brain is, in many ways, an incredible feedback machine. When we receive positive feedback, it triggers a rush of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals, making us more receptive, more open, and more motivated. Imagine being called into your boss's office. If the conversation begins with a list of all your recent mistakes, you're immediately on guard, defensive, and less receptive to feedback. But if it starts with genuine appreciation for the work you've done, and then smoothly transitions into areas of improvement, you're more likely to listen, understand, and act upon the feedback. As Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And a touch of honest appreciation can make all the difference. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Imagine holding a delicate bird in your hand. Grip too tightly, and you might harm it. Hold it too loosely, and it might fly away. Addressing someone's mistake requires that same gentle balance. You're not avoiding the issue, you're just handling it with care, ensuring the message is received without causing unnecessary harm. Direct confrontation, especially if it feels aggressive or judgmental, often triggers a defensive response. People become guarded, less open to the feedback, and the primary message gets lost in the emotional noise. Consider this. Instead of saying, "You missed the deadline again," try, "I noticed the project took a bit longer than expected. Is there something you were unsure about, or a way I can support you better next time?" The latter approach acknowledges the mistake but does so without blame, opening the door to constructive dialogue and collaboration. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Discussing our own mistakes is a profound act of humility and vulnerability, one that has the power to humanize us in the eyes of others. It's not a sign of weakness, but of courage and self-awareness. When you discuss your own errors before addressing someone else's, you're essentially leading by example. You're showing that recognizing and admitting mistakes is not just acceptable, but commendable. It's an implicit promise that the conversation isn't about blame, but about growth and learning. By acknowledging our own fallibility, we set a powerful precedent, urging others to introspect and acknowledge their areas of improvement without feeling isolated or singled out. So, the next time you're on the brink of pointing out a misstep, remember the beauty of humility. Share a chapter from your own book of errors. It might just make the subsequent pages easier for the other person to read and understand. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Picture a bustling kitchen during dinner rush. Two chefs stand side by side. One barks, "Chop the onions now." The other, with the same urgency, inquires, "Could you help with the onions?" Both want the same outcome, but their approach makes a world of difference in the atmosphere of the kitchen and the morale of the staff. Questions, by their nature, invite introspection and engagement. When you ask someone, "Do you think this might be a better approach?" Or, "Could we try doing it this way?" You're not just seeking compliance, you're opening a dialogue. You're conveying trust in their judgment, even if the direction is somewhat predefined. This isn't about being manipulative or indirect. It's about recognizing that people, regardless of their position, crave respect and agency. And when people feel respected, they're not only more likely to take action, but also to do so with greater enthusiasm and commitment. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. Humans by nature are prideful creatures. Our self-worth, confidence, and the way we perceive ourselves play vital roles in our daily interactions. No matter the setting, be it professional, social, or intimate, a blow to one's pride can have a profound, lasting impact. More than just hurt feelings, it can erode trust, hamper collaboration, and undermine relationships. Everyone errs. It's a universal truth. But when those mistakes are met with ridicule, direct confrontation, or public chastisement, the fallout can be detrimental. Letting someone save face isn't about ignoring mistakes or sidestepping accountability. It's about addressing errors with empathy and understanding. It's the difference between publicly reprimanding an employee for a lapse and discussing it privately, offering solutions rather than just pointing fingers. Principle 6. Praise every improvement. Neurologically speaking, praise acts like a little shot of dopamine to our brains, the feel-good neurotransmitter. When we are recognized for our efforts and improvements, this biochemical response triggers feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. It's nature's way of saying, "That was great, do it again." No matter how big or small, every improvement indicates progress. By acknowledging these steps forward, you are reinforcing the idea that effort leads to results. This not only boosts self-confidence, but also inspires further action. When people feel valued, seen, and understood, they are more likely to take risks, embrace challenges, and persist in the face of setbacks. Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Imagine being told you have the makings of a great leader or that you're known for your unparalleled integrity. Such commendations aren't just flattering, they form a vision, a reflection of your best self. And when someone believes in that reflection, you're more likely to strive and embody it fully. This is the essence of giving someone a stellar reputation to live up to. When you entrust someone with a reputation, you're not just labeling them. You're laying down a foundation, a platform from which they can leap to greater heights. Leaders, teachers, and influencers throughout history have employed this principle to bring out the best in people. When you show someone the finest version of themselves, they rise to the occasion. They work harder, dream bigger, and shine brighter, not just for their own sake, but to honor the faith you've placed in them. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Every one of us, at some point, has faced challenges that made us question our capabilities. And in those moments, words of encouragement can be the beacon of light we desperately seek. Encouragement isn't just about softening the blow. It's about highlighting the path to improvement, making obstacles seem surmountable, and turning setbacks into setups for comebacks. True encouragement is more than a pat on the back or a casual, "You'll do better next time." It's about recognizing the effort, understanding the setback, and providing guidance on the next steps. It's about making someone feel seen, understood, and most importantly, capable. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing what you suggest. People tend to be more enthusiastic about tasks or projects when they feel a sense of ownership or personal connection. It's not just about getting the job done, it's about the mark they'll leave, the impact they'll have. By highlighting this sense of ownership, you're appealing to their pride and their desire to make a difference. To make someone truly happy about doing something, we first need to understand what they value. Is it recognition, learning, adventure? By aligning your suggestions with their innate desires, you create a magnetic pull towards the task, turning what could be a reluctant obligation into an eager endeavor. In the end, it's about the human touch. Instead of pushing, you're inviting. Instead of demanding, you're enticing. And in the process, you're turning tasks into adventures, challenges into opportunities, and duties into delights. There you have it, a comprehensive summary of Dale Carnegie's timeless classic. If you found this information packed and want to truly internalize these principles, don't hesitate to revisit the video multiple times. Grab a pen, take notes, but above all else, put these principles into action. Your personal and professional growth awaits. If this content resonated with you, please show some love by hitting that like button, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and of course, subscribing to stay updated on more insightful content.